I guess we keep this. Adds draw a card to every spell, only if you're hellbent, right? But it's also like there's like honestly no end to powerful 4-drops that if you untap with them, you're ahead. There's no shortage of cards that meet that criteria. Moonveil Regent is one of them for sure, but like let's not pretend like, ooh, interesting. Let's not pretend like I might take a draw step here because this is maybe Blue Moon. I don't want to get basic lands. Okay, so I might get basic island, basic plains, depending on what I draw. Yeah, let's not pretend like there's any shortage of good 4-drops that when you untap with them, you win. Moonveil Regent is one of them, but it's also like a really fragile example of a card like this. Yeah, and it's like Chandra Torture Defiance is as more resilient than this card. Although I guess they both are fragile to heat. Regent is a combo piece with Breach and Manamorphose. Draw your deck for free. You don't have enough cards in the graveyard to do that, right? But I mean, it's also like it's not for free. You have to have Regent and yeah, it's a very mana intensive and very fragile. But I guess that just is how Underworld Breach combo is. Let's draw 2 into turn. Need to find some more lands. Why Steven over Triumph? I honestly feel like control decks can afford the Triumph more than our deck can. I'm not 100% convinced that every deck shouldn't just be playing this, like the Shockland instead. What do we want to have countered here? I think we want Teferis because we played Stoneforge with Counterspell up next turn maybe. But like, look at our curve. We have so many 1 and 2 mana spells that we need our lands that are untapped for. This deck, we have good mana anyways too. It's also not like our deck is like really hurting for good mana fixers. Like our mana is very, very good. It's not like the dual land matters all that much. I think entering untapped matters so much more than Triumph. In this deck specifically, control decks get to afford it a lot easier because they often don't have a 1 mana play. But we're playing Esper Sentinel in our deck. So what equipment am I getting here? Assuming that this resolves, of course. Did resolve. Probably just getting Batterskull. We went 3-2-4-1 with red black. Deck felt fine. Lost 2 kind of unlucky games to Tron, and then we lost to Grixis. Pretty standard day, I feel. I think I'll counter Charm here. Put us down to just 3 cards. I want to use my Counterspell this turn too. Sheesh. That's very good. I'm going to name 1 for sure if this resolves, which looks like it should resolve after this Consider. But they might play another 1-drop in response. Please no Snap Electrolyze. Is Electrolyze just great? I don't know. It seems okay. Probably not just great. But probably a somewhat playable card, huh? Oh, man. It's pretty dirty. Pretty dirty. We do get to play Batterskull if they don't have another Spell Pierce or Force. Snap Electrolyze, huh? It's a lot of Prismatic Endings to draw in this matchup too. Bolts me. So they're going to activate Hall and I have to chump block. Is Ward spell or ability or just spell? It is spell or ability. Oh, they're stealing. And bolting. Okay, well, I don't feel bad about how we played that game at least. Let's get these endings out of here. I probably don't want Rest in Peace. Maybe I'll play 1. I want Feast and Famine over Maul. Oh, I don't want these Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas does answer Hall of the Storm Giants. Play 1, I think, and maybe 1 Rest in Peace. Then maybe we have to play the second Spreading Seas. You can also play the Maul, but I think I'll just play the second Seas. Be right back. Oh, almost knocked the collage over. Okay, on the play, let's go. Have a weak hand. Basic planes coming to bite us with no Mystic Gate. This is a keepable hand. This hand has the Mystic Gate. So, if my opponent's left in Blood Moon, I should get Island. Island seems pretty free to get here anyways. Maybe worth having at least one ending for a solution to random stuff for sideboard. I never like this argument of one ending for random stuff. You got to give me like an example of anything I'd want an ending. Blood Moon. I'm not that worried about Blood Moon. I think it's kind of easy to just play around. But that is way better than let's just have an ending just in case something happens. You know, that's way better. Way better suggestion. Like, maybe we want ending for Blood Moon. Spell quality work well. Sanctum Prelate with this list with Teferi. It's amazing. It's not. I don't know. It is not amazing with Teferi. That is a very fragile combo, which like works way better in practice than in theory. Just really hoping we'd find a land. Yeah, but the Teferi Spell Queller combo, again, way better in theory than in practice. Yeah, exactly. If we can cast Ending for 3, I mean, we do have like, it does cut off some things, but I don't think I'm supposed to be that worried about it. Yeah, way better in theory than in practice. But also in Modern, you don't have to work like that hard for a 2-for-1 anymore. I think everyone's playing Blue Moon. They crushed us game 1 with Electrolyzes. We really need to hit our 4th land here. I will try to counter Search for his concept, but this is mostly to try to get them to counter back. I think I can bounce it, I think. Okay, that resolved. We need the 4th land so badly here. It's kind of crazy how badly we need it. Yeah, okay, this is random stuff from the sideboard. You were right. That is something that is officially random stuff from the sideboard to ending. Do I hold up Charm again? This is like a little bit of a tricksy play, but I think they're gonna Charm here. So I get to play a Sentinel with Flusterstorm up, and then they Charm in response. We get to Flusterstorm the Charm. Or maybe Flusterstorm Electrolyze here. I'm making a Shark. Okay. Why not Jam Prelate on 2? Well, we have a ton of 2-drops in our deck. I'm going to name 1 if I Prelate. We could have... That was also like a totally fine line, I think. But our 3-mana spells are just so much more vulnerable to a counterspell there than our 1-mana spell is. How are they playing Blood Moon in their Search in the Hall of Storm Giants deck? This is like, I mean, Jacob Kaminsky, the Pin Sword, who's the trophy leader, is doing exactly that too. It's pretty common. It's insanity. Well, Search for His Content is likely a sideboard card for matchups like this, where I bet you often side out Blood Moon. Yeah, I can just never find the 4th land this game. Their draws have been really good. I guess I should probably... I don't care how to pronounce this card. Oh, I should... I guess like there's no way I can leave a Flusterstorm. So I should have played the Sentinel first. This also only stops non-creature spells. People tend to think that it stops creatures and non-creatures, but I should have played this first, I think. And they didn't play any 1-drops in response. We're probably dead. They've got 5 cards. They're way ahead on mana. Prismatic Command and Electrolyze. Might be about time to pack things up, unfortunately. Yeah, you're probably just leaving up Flusterstorm way better for sure. This game did feel like lost many turns ago when we just never drew the 4th land. I cannot successfully Flusterstorm. You hit the Thought Scours. Well, they're probably playing Murktide. They are playing Murktide. We just have to Flusterstorm anything there. You hate the Murktides? I think the Murktides are good. Maybe I'll try to make a 2/2 Shark here, block their 1/1. The smallest victory ever. They have 3 cards in their hands. It's not likely to do much. Yeah, you hardcast Typhoon a decent amount of the time. More often than you'd expect. Yeah, it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen for sure. I guess I'm casting Sword of Feast and Famine. Unlikely to resolve. Resolved. Yeah, people, I agree that people probably hardcast it more often than they should. Actually, I don't know that that's true. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true. There are definitely times when people hardcast it and they shouldn't, and there are times when people don't hardcast it and they should. I'm not sure which is more common. It doesn't really matter. Or pretty dead. People are always looking for excuse to hardcast it. Maybe. I feel like that's more of a meme than reality, though. Like, yeah, I think when you're ahead, like just like when you're like ahead, that's when you're like supposed to like hardcast it a lot of the time to like just close out the game. And it's like oftentimes correct when you're ahead. Okay, we've entered the infect bracket. Thank you, Scott. Go back 7 months. Can't believe it's been that long. Can steal. They'll just bounce. Teferi is a pretty valuable card in this matchup, but man, we had this issue the last time we played this deck too. We just had like Mana Screw into Mana Flood into Mana Screw into Mana Flood, which I don't know if I'm really supposed to read that much into it, since, of course, any deck is capable of drawing like this. But it happened last time too. And I will say that this deck is probably more susceptible to drawing like this than other decks are. We're back to the Playbound Apprentice combo deck. It was never really good, I think. Just kind of a brew that was fun and not very competitive. Yeah, just a curse deck. Yeah, it doesn't have much selection, but I mean, it's also true. Like, this deck again is definitely more susceptible to Mana Screw, Mana Flood than a lot of decks are. But a lot of decks don't have selection, you know? I would say more decks have no selection than selection in Modern. And you're just kind of at the mercy of your draws sometimes. Do we Kaldra here? Pro red and white. Okay, Kaldra, yeah. I maybe should have played the Prelate first. Things are looking good here, despite us splitting out a little bit. Drew very well off the charm. Could play the new format Dig with Flashback. Could, yeah. Could maybe play Typhoon over Prelate. It's like it's kind of clunky. You could describe it that way. I don't know. It's not playing any 4-drops. Clunky is kind of an abstract concept, but you could maybe play Typhoon over Prelate. I feel like the Prelates have been good though. Yeah, clunky can maybe be a bit hard to define. That's a really good draw. Although we are kind of cold to the Ink Moths. Can't believe they're attacking with this into my Kaldra. Feels like a game, potentially a game-losing mistake. Maybe not. The Kaldra does get shrunk. We can equip the Kaldra, though, onto something else. Yeah, I don't need to counter that. Opponent says oops. I guess that's them attacking into this was the oops. So we attack for 7, down to 7. We equip onto here. Yeah, I think we should attack with the everything. They take 6 down to 8, and then we can equip, which effectively gets 6, 7, 8. We have exactly 8 on the crackback here. So if we Stoneforge for Maul, we can cast Maul and still have lethal here, with Counterspell up to play around Dismember. So probably can bring in the Chalices, on the Flusterstorms. Feast and Famine's probably better than Maul. The Maul lets us block. Maul lets us block the Ink Moth. Maybe we cut the Batterskull. Typhoon seems fine. Spreading Sea seems fine. Rest in Peace is bad. Solitude is great. Force is fine. Sentinel's good. I guess Counterspell is the bad card. Although Counterspell is a good against the Counterspell is good against Crusader. Are they still have Dismember? No, Dismember effectively gains them 1 life, which is exactly enough to survive. If we go minus a Shark, minus a Charm. No, Charm steals, man. I think I like the Charms. 2 Counterspells, 1 Charm is probably fine. No, Teferi is really, really good against it, in fact, usually. Counterspell's pretty decent. Yeah, I haven't played this matchup very much. I like it more on the play. Oh, I thought I brought in the sword already. Oh no. Alright, let's play it over the Maul. We don't want to cut the 4th Spreading Seas. Play 3 Counterspell, 3 Spreading Seas. I don't think Dismember gains life because we're only attacking with 3 power things at most. No, the original line is equip Kaldra onto something else to get lethal. Then we have a 6/6 or a 7/7. Dismember gains them 1 life in that scenario. We didn't have lethal without equipping the Kaldra, but getting the Maul allowed us to have Counterspell up. Like it was the decision between those 2 lines. All right, let's keep this. Jocelyn one really only hits our Sentinels. Yeah, maybe we should have brought those in too. They're way better on the play. Yeah, that's fair. The counterspell wasn't relevant against Dismember, but like just like the Maul play still beat the Dismember either way. And then also the counterspell was up. But I guess the counterspell being up part wasn't as relevant. Maybe we should cut one Force. I've historically really liked Force against Infect. But it's it's definitely been a long time since I played the matchup. Okay, don't kill Stoneforge Mystic in response to the ETB. Gives just me perfect information to not get the Kaldra here. Think I can win matches in this format with Terminus? Well, how lucky are you feeling? Stupid filter lands. Yeah, this deck is only playing 22 lands. I don't think you're supposed to like make your curve super high and play Teferi Hero. Got the coveted 4-0, 8-0 last night with Absent Reanimator. Smallpox is amazing. Would love to see it play again. Yeah, maybe I did like that deck. Maybe I'm a little too blindsided by Mending, but Mending is very good. I need a Force pitch here. Feels bad, but we need this Shark and then like equip the sword to the Shark. Triple Crusader. Not the worst draws. I don't need to be able to Prismatic Ending on 3 though, since obviously this just has protection from white. We lose to pump spells here, but if they don't have pump spells, we get to start chewing up these Crusaders. They only have 2 cards in their hand. Those are bad draws. I mean, yeah, they're not great, but I mean the Prelate's not bad, I think. At least starting next turn, it's not bad. And like this is like a sword on the Shark is our only way to like not die this turn, basically no matter what. Like we're pretty locked into putting a sword on a Shark this turn. And then this prevents future top decks, but I guess the ending is bad. Alright, go to game 3. Golgari Infect is like more popular just because Crusader lines up well against a lot of the cards in the format. Alright, yeah, I think on the play with the 4th counterspell. Maybe on the play we can Shrimp Force. I feel like it's more important than the draw. Maybe I have too many Flusterstorms. I can like trim one of those and a Prelate, perhaps. Or maybe Force is bad if I have all these Chalices and Prelates. Like I don't need to counter things very aggressively. I think that makes sense. I could have also trimmed a Mystic. Again, I haven't really been playing this matchup, of course. Is EE good? I guess he gives us an out to Crusader. But Maul's to 5. It's a really good exchange for us here, especially when they Maul to 5. Not bad. Do I Prelate on a different number than 1? Maybe not. I think I'll just take my turn to... Oh, no, let's get Teferi down. Teferi in plays just makes you not really have to worry about too much here. Okay, kind of awkward. This is the only card that Chalice completely stops. You can still play Flusterstorm through the Chalice on 1. Prelate on 40? Maybe. I don't think that they probably have too many answers to Chalice. Yeah, the land was really good just to get to eat the Stinger here. They can't, buff in response because it's a fairy. Someone's played Gym Razor. I guess I shouldn't be surprised by anything that Infect does, but I suppose I am a little surprised. I think I'll just name 4. Subs Force of Vigor, and I don't have any 4-drops in my deck. I'm gonna chump the Crusader this turn so I can draw a card off Teferi. Viridian Corruptor. I mean, sure, like these are cards that theoretically exist. I don't know if they're in my opponent's deck though. I think it's better to ending the Stinger and say the 2/2 Shark for Crusaders. Well, Crusader has first strike, so 2/2 Shark doesn't block Crusader. They're probably racing here with the Hallowed Storm Giants. Yeah, we're pretty locked into activating Hall next turn, so pretty sure we're supposed to counter. Don't even lose to Become Immense. Oh no, we do. We lose to Become Immense. Hall deals so much damage, it's kind of crazy. I feel like this is a concession. Unless it, I mean, they could just, it doesn't really help them cast Become Immense, so. Yeah, I think this is just a concession. But yeah, maybe Prelate on 6 was better though. Let's keep this. Was Phoenix printed when attacks and Probe was legal? No, it was not. Probe was banned probably like a full year, maybe more than that before Phoenix. I think more than that. Yeah, Probe has been banned for a long time. Alright, Sentinel is just so absurd in these matchups. We have a really good hand for this matchup. Obviously, play draw still super important against any deck containing Ragavan. But Sentinel just being this huge speed bump, you know, if they spend their whole turn removing it, they don't get to double spell on turn 2, which their deck really thrives on doing. Then we have our choice between Rest in Peace and Mystic on turn 2. Probably gonna go for Rest in Peace. Yeah, I have one main deck Rest in Peace. I think it's pretty good. Another Sentinel's very good too. Get the basic planes here. Because of the Mystic Gate. Yeah, looks like they're playing the red-black deck. Shizo usually means they're not splashing a color, of course. They go for a turn 2 Voidwalker. Rest in Peace does shut off Voidwalker's ability. Can also go for a Spreading Seas. Although Spreading Seas is kind of awkward with the Sentinel sometimes because it gives them something to do with the mana that you're denying. Also, if I get Kaldra here, it's kind of awkward against the Voidwalker. I think I'm still going to Spreading Seas there. I misclicked. I missed the Blood Crypt. Oh, this might end up being relevant. But I did just straight up miss the Blood Crypt there. Glad this is not a Call of Duty stream. Probe was banned a year before Twin and Pod got the hammer. I don't think that's not true. No, Probe was banned after Twin and Pod were. Because there's like this Kiln Fiend thing in the ice deck that it was just a Gitaxian Probe deck. That was kind of popular for a while. B Hood, 8 months. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the resub. Prelate's good against them. But it's kind of the clunkiest card in our hand. They can't Kroxa next turn, but it might be important to just get this Rest in Peace down. Maybe we'll just go Rest in Peace Sentinel next turn. I can also go ending this Sentinel. I do want to ending the Voidwalker. Do another ending. How does that change things? Yeah, I really. If our Rest in Peace gets discarded here, it's just such a disaster. Yeah. I used to play a lot of Delver with Young Pyromancer too, and yeah, definitely that deck got so much worse after the Pro ban. Would Pro be Modern legal if you could never pay mana for it? Yeah, that card exists in Modern. It's called Peak. It's actually instant speed. Oh, sorry. If you could never pay mana, I see. If you always had to pay 2, would it be Modern legal if you always had to pay 2 life? Maybe. It would be insanely good though. It would be insanely good with like Demilich Phoenix. Probably not. Probably not legal. No Shadow. You know what the funny thing is though, is that Gitaxian Probe and Death Shadow really never saw much play alongside each other. But one big downside for Probe that people don't often talk about is that like Burn was a tier 1 deck for a long time when Probe was legal, like basically the entire time. And Gitaxian Probe was really like actively bad against Burn. Usually, Flower Ranger, when I've been building this deck, I've been playing, I think, a 3-3-3 split of all the removal spells. I'm not sure what's correct, though. I think I want 3 heat. You can maybe do 4 ending, 3 bolt, 3 heat, but 10 1-mana removal spells is kind of too many, I think. My opponent doesn't know how Voidwalker works. I think my opponent thinks that they can cast something in response to a removal spell on Voidwalker, but they have to respect timing restrictions with this. It being Vesper is kind of irrelevant. That's absolutely not true. Like, or at least maybe it's irrelevant now, but like just back when Probe was a legal and Modern, like it was incredibly relevant. It was like Burn was one of, if not the most popular decks in Modern. It was incredibly relevant at the time that it was bad against Burn. And like in fact was like a huge part of the reason why Probe was legal in Modern for years is that Burn was a tier 1 deck and it was terrible against Burn. What made Burn tier 1 at the time? A combination of different things, but I mean Burn had been tier 1 in Modern for honestly most of Modern's life. Burn has been a tier 1 deck. The last like couple years it hasn't been. But for a long time, Burn was one of the most popular and one of the best decks in the format. And it, obviously due to a combination of things, but that was the case for a long time. Like people would play multiple sideboard cards for Burn in like most decks. Pro was a go Treasure Cruise? Yeah, it was. And I really do think that Probe would have been banned a lot sooner than it was if Burn was not a tier 1 deck. Yeah, dude, Uro and Oko both. Those cards were so insane against Burn. I remember playing like an SCG regionals with Oko, and I was playing against a Burn player, and Oko had like just came out, and I'm gaining 3 life a turn, and they just look at me and they go, "How am I supposed to beat that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure that you are." But they were so dejected, you know. It was really sad. Alright, so let's see what we draw. If I draw a land, I'm probably grabbing Batterskull. Alright, let's prelate on 1. Yeah, Oko had so much loyalty, too. Yeah. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Second Kolaghan's Command would be pretty good here. Yeah, Unholy Heat would have, like, I think that had Unholy Heat been printed in MH1, we may have had, like, a full extra year of Oko before the ban. I think I get Batterskull. I feel like the Vigilance matters a lot against this Den of the Bugbear. Could have maybe held the Plains, but it's like, holding Plains is bad against Terminate on Stoneforge, and playing Plains is bad against Kroxa. And they have 2 Kroxas and 2 Terminates left in their deck. So it feels like kind of a wash here. Assuming they're playing my list. They also didn't put Lurrus in their hand last turn, but they didn't use their mana, so I'm not sure how to read into that. Is this Turok? It's Den. We get to eat the 1/1 with the Stoneforge Mystic, take 3 down to 6. Well, I think we just can't beat Kolaghan's Command, so... I mean, playing the land is maybe better against Kolaghan's Command because we can bounce the Batterskull in response. But yeah, but now this turn we could beat Kolaghan's Command, but I think probably turns before this we couldn't. They'd go kill Prelate, make me discard Batterskull. Or if I don't play the land and they wait for me to put the Batterskull into play, then they kill it. So 1 game 1. So I usually bring in the Feast and Famine for the Maul, the Rest in Pieces over the Force of Negations, and then I tend to bring in some amount of Typhoons. I'm not honestly sure how many I should be playing. I can maybe cut a Stoneforge and the Kaldra. Just play Batterskull, Feast and Famine. Like, Kaldra's insane against it if you get it down, but it's so hard to get it down. And then I can play a 3 Counterspells, 3 Sharks. Let's do this. This looks kind of good to me. And Kaldra is, of course, absurd against them if you get it down. Just really hard to do in this matchup. I really dislike Explosives against Red-Black. It is usually a 3-mana 1-for-1, and this is not a matchup where you can afford to be that mana inefficient. I have to keep this off the monkey. Yeah, I think if Oko's +2 was a +1 and Oko's +1 was a -1, it would be not banned. Still pretty good though. Alright, unfortunately don't have an untapped white source on 1. For Jeskai Merc, you think 9 removal spells main board is enough? Yeah, absolutely. It's like Blue-Red Murktide plays 7 or 8. I don't know why 9 would be like not enough. In fact, I think like I would caution you against playing more than 9. Is Red Black Lurrus poorly positioned? No, we just played 2 leagues with it. We went 7-3. I feel totally fine about the deck. It's maybe not like the best choice, but it seems pretty good. Isn't Oko's +1 to put counters on 1 target creature? We're talking about Oko Thief of Crowns, not Oko the Trickster. Discard spell is very good here. Do you like people mainboarding EE decks like Murktide? I kind of prefer Prismari Command, to be honest. I think Prismari Command as like the answer to Chalice is nice, but I mean Explosives is also good against Rhinos. But Prismari Command synergizes with your deck a bit better. It's really close. It's really close. But I think that Jeskai splashing white for Prismatic Ending, that seems like a really good evolution for the deck. And I don't know, I wanted to play some Jeskai Phoenix tomorrow, but maybe we should spend some time. Maybe tomorrow I'll spend some time playing Jeskai Murktide, like just blue-red Murktide splashing white for ending. I'll just give you guys how I feel like the deck should be built, and then we'll see if it is as good in theory as we've been talking about, or if it's, not. Alright, well that makes the decision to not take the Rest in Peace pretty good. About 3 minutes of Teferi. I think I'd rather sideboard the Teferis if I'm going to play them at all. You also get access to Wear Tear in the sideboard, which is pretty good. But just in the main deck, like, you really need a density of instants and sorceries because you play like so many creatures and so many baubles. Your Murktides are so much worse if you're playing 12 creatures, 4 baubles, and you're also playing Teferis. Yeah, I don't really mind this. Put a card on top. Will I try a blue-white control? Maybe. Yesterday I played Lotus Field control for a little while, and I love that deck. But usually when I play control decks, I prefer if I feel like they're like innovative a bit. I guess I'm gonna play Sentinel. I don't think Counterspell is gonna be that good this turn since they're gonna pop the explosives. I don't usually make this trade either, but I probably should in this spot. I just have so much gas, but I need more mana. What would I cut for the endings? I'm not 100% sure. There are a lot of flex spots in Murktide, though. Like, you can trim on charms, you can trim on cantrips. Those are the main ones, I guess. But you have flex spots. It's really, and I'm also going to be playing, I think, 9 total removal spells, where Murktide usually plays 7 or 8. So it's like, you're really only even filling, because I'm going to trim on Bolt and or Heat. I think I'm going to play either a 3-3-3 split, or maybe I'll go like 4 ending. Someone just posted 4 ending, 4 heat, 2 bolts. I might like 4 ending, 3 heat, 2 bolts. I might like 3 ending main, 4th ending side. I'm just gonna have to like really crunch my brain a bit. I think I'm still gonna Stoneforge here. Yeah, and then playing up, and then like you really don't necessarily need any more cantrips in the scours when you're playing ending because you have that density of sorceries with the endings, which is really nice. And I feel like definitely what's keeping Murktide back is the presence of Chalice and Rest in Peace. These cards are really popular; they're really good. It's maybe more than that, but you know, if blue-white control is main decking Chalice, and they're in a very large way doing that to have game against the Murktide deck, it just makes a lot of sense to me for Murktide to also evolve and adapt and play main deck ending. It also would make sense for me to draw land ever this game. Like cutting some counterspells. I think counterspell is really important right now with how popular control and Tron are. I feel like cutting counterspell is like more so a meta call than just something you do all the time. And right now, like, Control and Tron are tier 1 in my opinion. Or at least, like, almost tier 1. Okay, no Kolagun's command, no Kolagun's command, no Kolagun's command, please. I guess if they had Kolagun's command, they would have attacked, right? They easily attack there. Although, no, that's not because I can just block with Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, they don't attack there. Never mind. You've worked on a bit. I've been sitting like 10 different versions of it, Thunder, but I also like I know how to build it, or like or at least I don't think I'm going to really have a hard time building it. I do appreciate everybody sending me their versions of it, but I don't think I'm going to have a hard time building it. I just haven't sat down and done it. It's really not going to be very hard to build at all, I think. I want to draw my land. This shuts off Kroxa. I guess maybe turning off Delirium is more relevant, but thank Clothis we finally found this land. And then I guess I should probably get Steam Vents so I can Prismatic Ending Luris theoretically. Yeah, I will play Phoenix this week. I debated playing it today or not. Maybe so. I think we'll just see how I think I want to play this Jeskai Murktide deck tomorrow. Or what if we actually just play it today? Maybe we can spend some time after this league hammering it out. We'll just see how much time we have left after this league, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely agree that this deck is not going to be difficult to build. It's not going to take us that much time to build. Am I going to play Hammer? Probably not today. But I do play Hammer from time to time. Guys to the sideboard for Jeskai Murktide? Almost 0 chance. The third, rest in peace. Oh, hammer it out. Do you play Scour and Consider? We'll build it. I think there's probably not room for Scour and Consider. The dog art, rest in peace. That one makes me sad, because the dog is, you know, rested in peace. This is the third. We only have 3 in the deck. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. It's relaxing in peace. Okay, I hope so. Let's Typhoon here, huh? Okay, well maybe that makes me feel better about the dog and the art of rest in peace, but that's certainly not how I had initially interpreted the art, huh? That was not my initial interpretation of this the art. The R stands for relaxing. Yeah, she looks pretty relaxed here. Some corpses the Golgari cannot claim. Some souls the Orzhov cannot shackle. Dude, Kolaghan's command is cracked, man. That was a great last card for them to have. Should have stolen. Should have stolen. The artist said the dogs are not dead. Yeah, they did keep a card on top. So let's go. Steel, Ending, Surveil 1. Guess I graveyard that. Is Force of Negation going to Regent? I like Force of Negation a decent amount. That being said, it's 100% a flex spot. It's not. That card is not definitely good. Like I'd have to like really think about it, and also like if you're playing Prismatic Ending, like you probably don't need Force of Negation that much because you don't need to like force Chalice and like Rest in Peace super badly. Kind of surprised you value DRC over 2 cards. Well, it's not just that I'm killing the DRC. I'm stealing it, which is a 2-for-1 in the same way that drawing 2 cards would be a 2-for-1. Obviously, it's less valuable with the Rest in Peace in play, but I also get the Surveils, which have a lot of value, and I immediately get 1 Surveil. I think it was good there. My opponent kept a card on top. I'm not sure what it was. What my opinion of the lands like the Fran's been playing? I think they're pretty cool. I don't know if he's like settled on a version, but I think they look pretty cool to me. I just don't know how good they are. They're bolting the Sentinel. I think I'll let that go. Oh, whoops! It's an attack. Yeah, we could maybe make like a Spell Pierce. We'll just have to take a look at the curve. Yeah, I misclicked through the attack. I thought I articulated that I misclicked, but yes, that's what happened. Not a big deal, just 1 point of damage, right? It's a good draw. Okay, might be able to cut our opponent off black mana if we draw another Spreading Seas. Yeah, just 1 measly psychic damage to me. Yeah, every time I say something, or like whenever I make a mistake and I go, "Oops, I didn't mean to do this. I misclicked," or you know, I just completely missed the card, which happens sometimes. And someone in chat goes, "Why didn't you attack for 1?" That inflicts 1 point of psychic damage to me. Especially when the mistake is like very obviously a mistake. You know what I mean? Yeah, when this mistake is like very obviously like there was no reason to not do something, and then chat asks me, why didn't you do X or Y? That inflicts psychic damage as well. So we have instant speed ending up here. It's kind of obvious that we have it, I guess. Are there any kind of chat comments that heal me for 1 HP? Really like elaborate shit posts, like really like big blocks of text heal me. The chants also used to heal me, but then chat started complaining about them and unfollowing because of all the chants, so we stopped doing as many chants. But they used to heal me, but now they hurt me because people always say, I hate this channel, I'm leaving, goodbye. After the chants. I wish I'm not even really exaggerating that much. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but people really hated how much we were doing the chants. I guess I get it, but I liked the chants. Thank you, Hander. Healing me. Yeah, I like the champion. I get it. I feel like the criticism of the chants. Wait, how are we 15 minutes ahead on the clock? It doesn't really feel like my opponent's been playing that slowly. How are we 15 minutes ahead? I legitimately don't feel like my opponent's playing slowly, but how is that possible? How is it possible that I don't feel like my opponent's slow here? Does anybody in chat feel like they were playing slow? Yeah, I totally get the criticism of the chants. But also, like, we did have, like, a couple people say they were leaving because of the chants. And I don't understand that, because I just don't feel like I've never felt like the Twitch chat itself, the chat itself, almost ever impacts my opinion of how the stream is going when I'm watching a stream. When I'm watching a stream, if I'm not engaging with the chat, it just doesn't bother me at all. Just watching the stream. Yeah, exactly. But also, it's definitely true. If you, it's totally fine to leave a channel because you're not driving with something. It's totally fine to leave a channel because you don't like the chants. That's fine. But it is bad etiquette, I think, to tell the streamer that you're leaving, you know, and make a deal out of it. That's bad etiquette, in my opinion. Oh, dude, the good luck with the stream is I don't know like how meta you realize that is, but it is meta. I don't know if you are aware of how meta it is. You probably are. Let's say no, so I don't have to go to Discord here. Yeah, chance cover up your message of how is Dimulich in this deck, Spike, or how is what do you think about splashing for whatever? So we're pretty cool to the old Archmage's Charm here, huh? I think that's fine. Let's just not play around it. We could potentially just steal back. Can also ending the Chalice to to get the Sentinel unlocked, or I can ending the Germ token. Teferi down. So I guess I'll just play a Stoneforge Mystic. Shuffle as redeem hat. Do you have a hat in mind, or do you want me to choose? If you're spreading the rock ground, they might not have an answer to your Teferi. Yeah, I feel like getting the colony is more relevant, though. But I did consider it. Another Teferi. Probably bounce the Germ. Oh no, now I can't see which hat Chanter wanted. Or was it Chanter? Who was it? Shuffle. Okay, so let me attack the Stoneforge and the Germ token at Teferi. Okay, so yeah, so here it looks like they're gonna steal. And so then I can go Maul the Skyclaves on Stoneforge, hit Teferi for 3, and then steal back. Post combat. Also Prismatic Ending that's a fairy. I think I just want to steal. Stealing just makes me like so good against Verdict here. Chance seemed pretty popular. I know. I just feel like we were overdoing them a bit, but also it is a kind of a silly thing to complain about. Shuffle the hat. Which hat? Any hat will do. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for the delay in the hat, my friend. Psych or put here in their hand. I'm leaving. I hate hats. Good luck with the hat stream, bro. That's a good. That is a good comment as well. Those are the kind of messages that heal me. They heal me of psychic damage. Is there a cowboy hat? No. As any urban Texans or Texan like me will know, cowboy hats are pretty cringe if you're not actually a cowboy. I guess I'm not playing around Solitude white card, but I don't think I need to. If negative energy heals me, is Spike confirmed undead? I could also can't necromancers do that too? I know that's Pathfinder reference, but we haven't used that rule too much. Engine 13 months, thank you. Yeah, I like this hat a lot. I bought this hat, so this was like pre-pandemic. It was a long time ago. But we were at like Forever 21, and Esther saw this hat in the store, and she was like, "Why would they ever make a hat this big? It's ridiculous." And she loved it though, but she's like, "Why would they make it this big? It's way too big." And I went back later and bought it for some events. Can't remember what. You need to make these deck tech redemptions require input. I think I did add the input for the deck tech recently. But you're right, I should do that for the hat. I wonder if I can make it. Are there multiple choice options? Can you do that for channel points? Like pick from multiple choices? Or is that not a thing? Okay, minus on the Kaldra, which is totally fine. See if they remember that I have Batterskull. They I guess I tutored this up. This is open information here. Just a teensy mistake from our opponent, huh? Yeah. So I'm gonna cut all the endings and then the Maul, or I kind of go back and forth on the Maul. It wasn't that bad that game. And then ending can exile sharks or Teferis. Maybe we want 2 endings, 1 spreading seas, 1 solitude. I am definitely waffling on exactly how to sideboard in this matchup. And I don't know if I like them all. Yeah, I'm gonna play I think the second solitude over Maul. They do kind of have a surprising number of creatures between Kihira, Solitude, Colonnade, Shark Typhoon. I guess they don't have Typhoon if they have Kihira. Actually, no, sorry. They can. And the flash spec can be good. Can this hat be used as an umbrella? No, it's a little too porous. It's a little porous. I don't know if you can see. I think it would make a poor umbrella. Solitudes wasn't useful to now. Solitudes have been pretty good in the deck. Oh no. Yeah, I think 2 Prismatic Endings is a pretty good number for Teferis. I have been liking the Stoneblade deck a lot though. We've been doing pretty well with it. I know that we started this league off 0-1, but I think I've been pretty impressed by it. It's been feeling pretty good to me. I might play it in the challenge this weekend, we'll see. Not sure yet. Probably gonna mulligan this hand. Don't believe in my ability to only draw lands. Hey, Itachi. Kind of bit my tongue too. But it's also mulling to 6. Probably go to 5. I could see keeping this on the draw on 6 cards. I think I'd rather go to 5. They keep 6. Okay, I definitely would keep that 6 now. Okay, let's put back Prelate, Force of Negation, Flusterstorm. At least Sentinel's very good. We have 14 untapped white sources for Sentinel, which I think puts us at like a little over 90% to have a white source for Sentinel and ending on 1. Wow, that was a kind of nuts draw. All said and done, not really that bad of a Mold to 4. My headphones are dead. I'm gonna go put them on the... Oh, their charger's right here. I was looking for it, I didn't see it. This is a Chalice? I'd love for this to be Chalice. We've just used our 1-drops. It's Prismatic Ending, though. But they're overpaying, but I guess them overpaying doesn't matter. But if we can just draw a land... Dang it. Why did filter lands become such a part of modern mana bases over the past year or so? It's kind of a combination. It's mostly like the new requirements that have been printed. Like a lot of times you have, like you'll have white and for Sentinel and ending into Counterspell Archmage's Charm. The filter lands really help with that. Yeah, I feel like it's Counterspell and Archmage's Charm specifically that have really impacted it. Samwise, 3 months, thank you. I will concede with no land drawn. I know I can Typhoon for 1, but pretty dead here. Just be able to play for game 3 and not Mold to 4. But yeah, I would say that it's really those like new requirements have been printed. Like you haven't had like these like very single color heavy sources with like an off color on turn 1, where you have like filter lands in the red black deck 2, where you have like Ragavan and DRC on 1 into Voidwalker on 2. I have some Mystic Gates still on my desk. Somebody told me that these are 20 bucks. I don't know if that's true, but they've been on my desk for who knows how long, maybe like a full year. All right, let's keep this. Why Maul over Sword main deck? Just curious. I'm not a big fan of swords in this format that really values mana efficiency, and Maul plays really nicely not only with Kaldra and Batterskull, but it's also like pretty good with Esper Sentinel. Just putting a Maul with Skyclaves on Sentinel makes the taxing effects more impactful. I've been pretty happy with yeah, just slapping them all on a Sentinel. They're 20. Jeez. Alright, I will try to take them off the desk. But no promises, chat. So, if my opponent Prismatic Endings... Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to force. Can Archmage's Charm decks afford to play Field of Ruin like opponent? I really don't think so. Well, if can't afford to is kind of a funny thing, but I really don't like Field of Ruin in Archmage's Charm decks. How much did I buy mine for yours? I think like less than $5 or less. But I bought them a long time ago, over a year ago. Alright, Solitude's Pitch Verdicts. Pretty happy about that. I could be misremembering because it has been a long time, but I think it was less than $5. I think Shocking to represent Charm here. I don't want to jam Teferi into a possible counterspell, especially when I have Typhoon to cycle. He can Stoneforge Maul in response to an Esper Sentinel triggering, make them have to pay. I believe I believe that Esper Sentinel's trigger resolves, or it counts the power on resolution of the ability. So you should be able to make that play, yes. Unless I have the rules misinterpreted. Yeah, not a finite stream unless I'm posting my W's. I don't know. It's something fun to talk about sometimes. Yeah, I don't care about Prelate resolving that much. I'll probably name 4. Todd, 18 months, appreciate you. Maybe I'll just leave them on top of my PC. Thanks again, Todd. Hank, I check out decks for usually 2 gifted subs or $10 or channel points. I just can't take a look at every deck that's posted in the chat. Otherwise, it would just be a little too distracting from the stream. Prelate's on 4. I usually name 4 in this matchup, and it's nice because you don't. This doesn't stop anything in your deck, I guess, except maybe not even ending really. Occasionally ending, I guess. And it stops, Verdicts, Memory Deluge in their deck. Jace if they play it. Which deck should you play for CFB Vegas? A month and a half in the modern metagame is a really long time. It is really difficult to accurately predict what you should or should not be doing this far in advance. How do you check off your offshore points account? Who said that the channel points going into an offshore account went into your account? Fair enough. Just joking, obviously. Yeah, but that's the joke always, is that they go into my offshore account. That's the response to the question. The standard response. Can Charm decks play 2 planes? I'm playing 4 Mystic Gates. Dude, I hate the crying laughing emoji so much. But I'm playing 4 Mystic Gates. I'm playing 3 white sources and 4 Mystic Gates, which is usually enough. You might be correct to cut a planes, though. What do you think of Benevolent Hermit? I think that maybe, like, Reanimator can afford to play Benevolent Hermit. Yeah, it says you're subscribed, Hank. You have to hit the share button to get the thing to pop up. But either way, thanks, buddy. Yeah, usually for like these decks, I think you want a number of filter lands equal to X, where X is the number of off-color. X is the number of like white sources plus 1 Mystic Gates has been my formula, I guess. They're 1 land away from activating Hall. So if they have less cards to counterspell, I'll counter back. If not, I'll just equip onto the Shark. If they are less cards, Archmage's Charm. Good for them. Hopefully it's just a 4-mana spell. They'll discard here. Sorry, I have 3 Mystic Gates. I have 4 Mystic Gates. I have 2 planes and I have 1 Cave of the Frost Dragons, and it's really not that big a deal. Like, Mystic Gate is going to make your mana really good if you have literally any land that's not Mystic Gate in your deck. Your mana is just perfect. Especially in a deck like this without like that many 1-mana spells. And all of our 1-mana spells are sorcery speed, so even if we are playing 2 1-mana spells on turn 2, we're playing both of them at sorcery speed. So I guess I'll play this pre-combat. I discard their last card, which is Flusterstorm. Should they print Dread Arbor in any color? No. I don't think so. I'm not sure exactly what the problem would be, but I feel like it's kind of a dangerous thing to do without me like thinking it out. So they should be dead to this Alpha Strike. Yeah, White Dread Arbor would be interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I think that it's also like a color pie break, right? That would be, in my opinion, the biggest reason to not do it. Off the top of my head, is like kind of blatant color pie break. But again, I could be wrong. Wafu is definitely better than me, so. But also, like, it's very consistently Wafu like puts lists together that make no sense to anybody besides him. Yeah. I think that might just be it. Wafu just like hates any card that can be card disadvantage. Yeah. Opponent's Maul to 6. It's also true that like a conversation like this, Unmarked Grave versus Mole Drifter, like both cards are obviously fine in the deck, and you're perfectly capable of winning with both. But one of them is going to be better than the other, or it's kind of like the Phoenix with Otherworldly Gaze. Like some players think that Gaze is better, some players think that my version's better, and the reality is both versions create totally functional modern decks that are capable of winning matches. And it can be hard to differentiate between which of the versions is going to be the best. All right. You know what I mean? And finding the very best version is a long process. It takes a lot of testing. And you're going to be right sometimes, going to be wrong other times. But until then, we're going to Spreading Seas that saga. Where do people see Wafu's list? Usually he does well in tournaments, and then people see them, and they spend hours and years even pondering them, trying to make sense. It doesn't usually happen. Do you think Sanctum Prelate is a reasonable substitute for Chalice and Black-White Reanimator? I think Chalice is better, but it's not the worst. 3 mana is a lot more than 2. But I like it in this deck because it lets you play Sentinel, where Chalice doesn't let you play Sentinel. This pretty effectively shuts off their Paladin. I will say that I do like that Wafu is always trying new things. I think that Magic players in general, I don't know, I've this is even like what I've made my entire career off of, the fact that Magic players don't really like to innovate that much. Some of them do, of course, but just in general, talking about the Magic player population as a whole, talking about the modern player base, more players would prefer to just be told what the best deck list is and spend time learning it rather than try something new. Is his name Wafo? Yeah, I think I'm just mispronouncing it, unfortunately. Not intentional. That's why they come to twitch.tv/aspiringspike, I guess. I guess I'll just counter this, I think. I don't want the Stoneforge to be in play, since they can let them get around the prelate, and then so I'm gonna have to kill it anyways. So I think I'll just use my mana there to counter. Wool, thank you for the tier 1, appreciate you. Yeah, that's true. Trying something new in Magic, especially paper Magic, is very expensive. Although you can proxy with your friends, right? That's usually the best way to do it. But yeah, I do certainly recognize that price and time is a huge factor for that. I think we're just hardcasting Solitude here. Thank you, Wool. Glad you like it, the YouTube. New hat. We've had this hat for a long time. This is actually, I think, the original hat, but I just haven't put it on in a while because it is really uncomfortable. Is the main reason. I think I'll exile the Inkmoth Nexus here, since we can ending the Paladin a lot more easily. Also makes the Dolores a bit worse. I think I'll Maul my Solitude. Sounds kind of metal. Yeah, friends, spike with the ultimate flags. Yeah, that's what I used to do a lot back in the day. Just proxy a lot of decks and play them with the boys. Yeah, I used to always get sunburned every time I was outside for, you know, any activity. But recently I went camping, and it was, you know, it was a really, really hot weekend. It was like 100 degrees for most of the weekend. But I did put on sunscreen the whole time, but usually I put on sunscreen the whole time and I'm still super burned. But I managed to like go kayaking and hiking and just be out in the sun and swimming all weekend, and I was just totally fine, which has never happened before. Now, kind of a flex, but I'm very happy about it. Yeah, I promise the P.O. box will happen at some point. I guess now that I have new tires on my car, I can drive to the mail station. I had to buy a whole new set of tires yesterday. It was pretty expensive. But I've had my car for like 4 years, and I had to replace the tires, which was probably too long. And like 2 of them are really going. Innovating stuff is somewhat problem in MTG content. There's brewers like you, which is nice. But you keep playing against the same handful of decks day in, day out. There's a good amount of different decks in Modern, but there's still at least a few same decks every other game. Yeah, I mean, I think that has to be the case. Like, there has to be some consistency, otherwise it's impossible to innovate without, like, knowing what you're playing against. Do I rotate? Yeah, but maybe not quite as often as I should. What do you drive? I don't know. I probably shouldn't. I guess it's... Try not to give out too much personal info. I have a Honda Civic. It's, you know, like 2015. I was actually driving it the other day, and my mom was talking about her maiden name as we were driving down our childhood street. The street I grew up on as a child. Yeah, the most unique and identifying car in the world, the Honda Civic. I've said too much. I've given away far too much info. Very fancy car. Oh yeah, we did actually. It's funny that you bring that up. When I was also discussing my first family pet at the time. Oh, I don't know why I thought that... Yeah, I think this is still good to play the explosives on 1 here, but do let them draw a card, which is kind of a not great exchange when they're missing lands. People are asking so many nice questions today. Why do you need a car as far as more you exist entirely in your chair between a webcam and magic conspiracy wall? You joke, but I probably drive twice a week at most. There are most days of the week I don't drive anywhere. It is what it is, I guess. But yeah, it's kind of sadly true. Most days of the week I just stay home all day, which is fine. You know, I've got Athena here, I've got my stream here. Esther's here now, she's working from home. What's there out in the world for me? Innistrad block constructed FNM. Is Lingering Souls it's still banned, I assume? Yeah, if they play any 1-mana spell here, I'm pretty happy because it dies to explosives. We're pretty behind here. Our draw is definitely not lined up that well against theirs. I think we need to spend this turn buying a little bit of time by bouncing the Saga. Do I get a... I guess I get a Fountain here so I can cast Prelate. Okay, Solitude is a good card. I don't have a white card to pitch at the moment. It was... Wait, I thought... so only Intangible Virtue was banned? Souls was legal? That doesn't sound right, but I can't really remember. Okay, we're dead if they have 2 hammers. We go to 1. If they have only 1. Not looking too good. See if they play around Charm. They don't play around Charm. But we need to draw a white card. Oh, no, we go to 2. We go to 2. Totally fine. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Why was Intangible Virtue banned, though? Why did they ban Virtue if Souls was also banned? I feel like you wouldn't need to. Alright. Not a very good draw. Also, shout out to Maul the Skyclaves over any of our other equipment for being like a much-needed white card in this spot. I mean, surely Intangible Virtue plus Midnight Haunting was not so good it needed to be banned. Maybe it was, I don't know. A little before my time. Oh yeah, I remember Gather the Townsfolk. That's a good token generator. Oh wait, you also had Sorin too. Sorin was pretty strong. I guess I can see it, you know. Alright, I'm not sure if we can win. Maybe we can. Should innovate on some modern tokens. Well, it's not really how I do things around here. I don't just kind of like try things to try them. I try them because I think they have a chance to be good, and I am not really of the opinion that tokens has the chance to be good. So we are technically alive here. Unless they... I guess if they needle my Ornithopter, it's not really that big a deal. Since they will definitely have a hammer. But I've talked about this a lot lately. I ended up writing like an article kind of on the idea as well too. But good brews start with good ideas. They don't start with you trying to force your favorite deck or your favorite archetype to be good. Good brews start with good ideas. I don't see we survive 3 attackers. We have Solitude. We block, we exile 1, we take the 1 from the Mystic. And then we can kill the hammer with our, after we block and tap the Ornithopter. Yeah, good brews start with Ragavan and Luris. Too real. Too real. We are dead to another hammer drawn. That's fine, right? So we go block Ingenious Smith. Kill the hammer. Solitude. Exile the construct. Take 1, go to 2. They gain 3 up to 21. And we actually get to go, we just get to go attack. Oh, they have a chump blocker now. Winning this game would be awesome. I might still attack. We have double counterspell up. And if they don't chump block, then... Yeah, if they don't chump block, then like they're just dead to a removal spell. If they attack with the Mystic. The best brews start with 4 grief and 4 ephemerate. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. This is like so ballsy to fire up this Nexus. Yeah, just be dead to any removal spell. I really don't like this Nexus attack. But we do have to wait a turn. Problem with that is admitting an idea might not be good. Yeah, I actually talked about that. The article's not out yet, but like identifying if your idea is good or not is hard for sure. And like personal pride and personal biases really do heavily impact like your ability to correctly evaluate if your idea is good or not. And just but the more you try to do anything, whether that be brew in modern or build decks or whatever it is you're doing in life, the more you do it, you'll get better. The more you practice, the better you'll get. And if you can try to evaluate your biases and like talk to other people about your ideas and get outside perspectives, you'll get better at it. So now that we've tapped the Ornithopter, we are dead to a hammer on the Nexus, but I don't think we really have a different line here. Yeah, I brewed the Dimir thing in the Ice Control deck. I brew most of the decks I play on stream. But I do really like that one. Alright, they're very quickly activating the Nexus. I feel like we're dead. We're not dead! Let's go! Let's go. I don't really know how we're not dead, but we're not. And can't we just... Oh, yeah, wait. This does not have flying. But I think I'm going to equip here. That is one of the biggest Ornithopters I've seen, at least in this deck. And then we can even kill a hammer on defense because of the Vigilance. Gain 15 life. Kill spell lethal. We couldn't oh yeah, we just Prismatic Ending the Stoneforge. Duh. This is cooler, but yeah. And then we this is I guess kind of soft to Paladin. No, we're not dead to hammer because we can tap the Ornithopter to kill a hammer with Manriki. Yeah, but we should have just Prismatic Ending for lethal, obviously. Aspiring combat math. Thanks for the raid, Modest. Hope you have a good day, buddy. Yeah, I think we can beat third Sigarda's aid. I cannot believe we won this game. We were so behind. That drawing the white card for Solitude finally was so important. All right, so we've been doing really well with this deck. I think since I've picked this deck back up, I'm 19-6, which is pretty good. Not insane, but pretty good. Let's see, it's like 5 o'clock. Let's try to put together the Jeskai Murktide deck. We've just been talking about it.